Good evening, Roland. Thank you very much for coming here today for this interview. This interview will be about your voice acting, voice artist journey. Can you tell me more about yourself?
Yeah, Jessi, thank you so much for inviting me on here. My journey as a voice actor is quite unique. I wouldn't say that mine is more likely different than any other voice actor. However, mine is uniquely my own. I was a quiet kid, and I started as I got older, probably around junior high. I started getting involved in musicals, really enjoyed it. Then started singing in high school and moved on to perform once again in college, even after college. Then I had the chance to work in broadcast radio, and that's really where things started to move faster because my boss heard my voice in some of the commercials that we were airing on our stations and really liked it and actually moved me onto a weekend or evening slot. So I was doing overnights on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And after that, I decided to just pursue voice acting on my own. And I've been doing that for the past few years now, and it's been amazing. I encourage anyone that's interested in voice acting, I'll put it like this. Try it and see where you go with it. Do understand that it is a journey. It is a process. It is a marathon. It is by no means a sprint.
So have you ever had a first project before?
Yeah, a first project for me, gosh, the first project I had, like I said, when I worked in radio, that was really, I would say those were my first projects, so to speak. And the way that came about was because the production team just had too many of the same voices on the commercials. And I walked by and said, well, can I try? And I tried it. And I had my first demo made because I had done so many different commercials by the end of several months. They said, man, you should really go into voice acting. And I was more surprised because my thought was that in order to be a voice actor, you had to have the booming voice of God. And I don't. And what I learned over the years is that my voice works just as well as someone's voice as a James Earl Jones. Now, here's the thing, though. I also learned that what my voice can do, what my abilities are completely different than someone else's. And that is the fun part, because I can have a falsetto voice that most people with my vocal range don't have. And I just created that on my own. That wasn't something where I didn't go to school, I didn't study a method, I didn't go to theatrical school. I just played around.
How does it feel to hear your voice after, you're watching the final product or listening to the radio?
It's still a little bit disturbing at times.
Because it's funny when I have family members listen and they hear my voice saying, oh, doesn't that sound great? Yeah, I guess. Because for me, I'm really humble in the sense where, like I said, I've performed on stage and I'm an extrovert when I'm on stage. But the moment it's done, I'm just, okay, cool, great. But then when it's on the radio and you hear it, or if you go online and you hear it, it's a little bit, wow, I'm there, and it's exciting and it's interesting because there are people that have been in the voice acting career for years, and they're surprised at what I'm doing, and I'm impressed that they're impressed at me.
I actually like your voice acting part. I know you only have like one scene in the whole episode, but it was a good one. It's a good line.
I really enjoyed what you wrote. It was fun because I was the Renovator guy, and Renovator guy was like real chilled, laid back kind of guy. Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that, dude. Come on. and I enjoy doing that. My friend's like, "Is that you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What did you do?" I just thought of one of my friends that I grew up with in junior high and high school. And he always had to talk like this in the back of his throat. Just doing what he does, man. That's all. Yeah.
That's actually good because you hit the kind of tone that I wanted for the character. I mean, we were only communicating via chat, so I'm not able to direct. You hit it with just the script, so that's actually a good one. It's a good.
Yeah. It was fun because it's like I looked at your cast of characters and each of your characters are very unique. There's a character who's very straight-laced and to the point. There's one that's a little more ride by the seat of your pants, and then there's the voice of reason. And then when I saw the script for this character and I saw the scene, I said, yeah, that guy's going to be a bit different.
Is voice acting your, do you want it to be a full-time career or a part-time, or is this just a temporary sideline?
No, my trajectory, my direction is that it becomes my full-time job. I am, as they would say, quote unquote, a regular Joe. I have a 9-to-5 job, and I have the opportunities to audition for many different things throughout the week, on the weekends. And it's just fun to just see what's out there. And a little side story is that the way I look at voice acting is similar to how I once auditioned for Disneyland. I saw that there was a casting call for it was Aladdin at the Hyperion Theater at Disneyland's California Adventure, and I love Aladdin. That is my favorite musical that Disney's made. I will watch it at any time, happy, sad, whatever. And I went to the audition. Again, I had never auditioned for Disneyland, and went there. The line was around the block, and I'm not making that up. It was physically around the block. And as I stood there, I'm looking at people, and I can tell that some of them are friends. They've auditioned many times before, and I hadn't. And I was a little bit intimidated by that because I said, oh gosh, if they've seen these people, they know what they can do. They know this, they know that. And immediately I paused and I realized, wait a minute, I have the advantage because they've never seen me. They don't know me. They have no idea what I'm going to do. And I do that with voice acting. I pursue every audition. I just go full tilt. I go big and then I go home. I don't go big or go home. I go big and then I go home. But yeah, that's really the beauty of voice acting, because over the years I've learned it's not about, my performance is my best performance all the time. And I always walk away satisfied with what I do. The thing is, though, realistically, it's really up to the casting director. Maybe the casting director likes what I've done, likes how I sound. Maybe they don't. Maybe they find it in someone else, but they do it just a little bit different. And that's okay. And that's the thing I would say for any aspiring voice actor. Get used to hearing no. And that no may be no response, as in you didn't get the part. And you have to get used to that, because it's okay. It's not that you are a quote-unquote bad voice actor. It's just more of you just didn't strike a nerve for them, and that's okay.
Do you have a favorite voice artist?
I do, and that would be none other than Phil LaMarr. Phil LaMarr has been, I could say that I have seen him on screen and then on, I'd say off screen, because he's not physically on screen. But he is one of the driving forces, I would say the driving force for me, because he has proven to be so versatile. And I admire that, because I put that out there that I didn't realize or recognize that he was Jack in Samurai Jack. And I had watched that series from beginning to end. And surprisingly, I didn't watch the credits, or I'd fall asleep, and I didn't put the two together. It was just more of, oh, the episode's over. Okay, I'll go to bed. And then time went on. I said, oh my gosh, Phil Lamar's the voice of Jack. I never knew that. But I know he's the voice of Jon Stewart in Justice League. I know he's the voice of Static in Static Shock. I know he's the voice of a character on Futurama, and so on and so on. Is that, wow, he is truly versatile. And that's what I aspire to be. I aspire to be versatile in the genre of voice acting.
How do you prepare for an audition?
It's a little mix of all of those things, Jessi. It's that for me that I prepare for a part. If there's a part that is requiring someone to be either kind of geeky, nerdy, I physically get into the character. I move around, or my posture's different. If I'm recording or auditioning from home and it's live, more often than not, I'm going to grab a prop that's in my studio and just use it. Even if it's a pencil, it's that pencil becomes something else because it helps develop the character. Some people will say, well, how come you don't just have blank? Now, truth be told, I have lightsabers in my studio. I have a microphone that's in my studio. And I'm not talking about my studio microphone. I'm talking about just a regular microphone. It's a toy. I've got all sorts of stuff in here. And the thing is that that's what helps develop the character. It's that the physicality, or the challenge rather, I would say in voice acting, but I also say it's the fun part of voice acting, is that you could be really audacious in what you're doing. If you're in the studio, when you're in the studio, you could be squirming as long as you're still on mic. You can be hunched over and still on mic. You can be really, really close and still doing all these things. And it's great because you can do this and still get the idea. And it's just fun. That's the best part, is that you are acting. You are still acting. However, your voice is the main catalyst. It's the main drive for the character. And people don't see that unless you find a behind-the-scenes cut. But aside from that, that's what I do. I get into it. I'm just a big kid.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so this will be the last one, and this will involve a little bit of voice acting.
Okay, bring it on.
All right, so what is your specialty in voice acting? Maybe top 3 if you can, and then we're going to do a little activity afterwards.
Oh boy. Okay. The character voices that really, I would say, are my signature voices, so to speak.
The first one is a little kid who just really likes to talk a lot, but he's a little uncomfortable about talking in public, but he doesn't mind talking to one person at a time. But he's really small and a little bit shy, but that's okay.
And then there's the nerdy guy that I have, and I've actually created myself. My name is Nerbert for Billiam. Nerbert for Billiam is my name, and that is how I just get into these things, because it's a really simple scientific method. I mean, if you got to use a hypothesis, and then you go from there to develop the creation that is science.
And then there's like, hey dude, there's like, this is like the Renovator guy, but he's a little bit bigger. Yeah, but I'm just a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I just talk a little bit louder. Now, the Renovator guy is more like, hey, man, it's a little more relaxed, laid back. So, yeah. But those are usually those are my favorite voices, and I actually have had scripts written on some of those characters, and it's actually quite flattering, because they said, oh my gosh, you can do that voice? I'm going to write a character just for you with that voice.
Thanks.
That's actually pretty good. I'm going to send you three lines from a book that I've read, and you can choose one voice per line, and then feel free to execute it however you imagine it can be. So you can choose like it's a little bit thriller and serious, but you can change it to comedy if you want. Like, be creative how you want to deliver these lines using your three voices. All right, so sending over.
Oh my. Wow. All right. Okay. So I see your lines, and I will do each line in a certain character.
You can turn it to romance, you can turn it to suspense or comedy, humor. I would like to see your creative side in this.
Okay, here we go.
The only thing crueler than a cage so small is that a bird can't fly. Is a cage so large that birds think they can fly. That's aerodynamic. That's aerodynamics right there.
Oh, let's see. Line number 2.
You know, sometimes the best writers get hated before they loved. I mean, come on, like Socrates wrote, I think, therefore I am? Or was that Descartes? I'm not sure. It's one of them. Maybe it was Ralph's. I don't know.
I stand up and grab my hair and I want to pull it out because you can't run your fingers through it anymore. But I don't have hair. You don't rise up to forgive me and ward off the evil silence that weighs me down for every second that you are mute. Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Wow. Wow. I can't believe that's real voice acting right there.
Oh gosh, when I saw that last one, I said, yes, the child goes last. The child is definitely going.
Well, actually, the context of that is that the main character just quote unquote, accidentally killed the girl that he's stalking. He chose her. So I was like, oh no, the kid is going to do this. So yeah, that's why she's mute, because she's dead. And she's so I was
Why are you sleeping? Why are you sleeping? Wake up! Wake up!
That's kind of pretty awkward to do for the kid.
It's funny because I've had to do lines as that child in some really odd situations that really aren't childlike. And it's like, as I saw that line, I said, that just, you know what, that's perfect for the child. Go.
Go for it. All right, maybe next time we could do a character with the child in it. I think I want to see him in action.
Right.
All right, thank you very much for your time today, and I really hope that I could invite you again for another collaboration, hopefully with the other cast of My Sister's Friends Next Door.
I would definitely look forward to it, Jessi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, for any person that's considering voice acting, dive into it. I take that analogy the way I jump into a pool. I don't step my foot in and say, ooh, I wonder if it's cold. I just walk off the edge and just land in it. And that's what I decided to do. I did that a few years ago. I just decided to just jump into voice acting, and the opportunities that have come up have been amazing. I mean, being on Jessi's animated series you can follow on YouTube has been great. I've had opportunities to be on other animated series as well. I've done commercials that are around the country, and if someone told me that would be what I'd be doing, I'd be shocked, because I said I wouldn't know the first thing of what to do, but I'm doing it. So learn it. If you don't know it, that's the beauty of the internet. You can go on YouTube and find out how to do it. You have no real excuse as to why you can't do it other than you stopping yourself from doing it. So go out there and make it happen.
Thank you, Roland. For any links that you will be able to provide me that will lead to your previous works, we can put it in the description below so that everyone can check it out.
That'll be perfect. I'm on YouTube and Instagram. You can definitely hit me up there. Feel free to message me as well.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk with you again next time.
All right. Thanks.
It's not about pleasing everyone. The question is that, what message does my story have to deliver to those who will read it? I hope they finish it till the end to find out.